The hardcover book only sold 4 or 5,000 copies. The downloads sold most. I'm still selling I'm giving the downloads away because the technology references are out of date.
Yeah.
I had a lot of technology references in the book, but they're no longer valid.
Open mic somewhere. Somebody's got a.
I was talking about like autoresponders, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Autoresponders are no longer a valid technology, but the philosophies in the book are very much still apropos to today. And I'm in the process of writing another book, Why You're Not Rich.
Yeah, well, you better send that over to me as quick as you can.
I don't claim to be the wealthiest person on earth, but I am affluent, and I have more than enough money. And I stress in the book, there are people everywhere on the ladder. There are people up there and people down here. I'm somewhere on the ladder, and I tell people, if you would like to live as I live, as a millionaire, I'm not a multi-millionaire, but I am a millionaire. And if you would like to live as I live, first of all, the first chapter I've written says, what are your excuses for not being rich? Write all of them down. Write down every excuse that you've told yourself why you are not wealthy. And then the book tends to debunk that and talk about there is no excuse. And I've had people say, well, the Bible says money is the root of all evil. Well, lack of money is the root of all evil. So I talk about creation of wealth, entrepreneurism. The word entrepreneur it comes from the French. The word entree is the opening, the door.
Right.
Prendre is to take. So entrepreneur is an opportunity taker, a person that opens the door and takes the opportunity. And we talk about how to be an entrepreneur, how to think like an entrepreneur. If you saw that movie, Indiana Jones, Step Out and the Rock Will Appear. You've got to step out there and have faith that the rock will be there.
I mean, it's right, because I've made a few changes now. Well, thanks a lot, John. Now, Chris, have you written a book yet?
No, I have made a thesis for studying at university, but I don't have written a book. I will go to write an ebook and to give webinars about art and antiques. That is a thing that I will do, and I know also how I will do that. I will take something here. So, don't know if it's possible to see this.
Yeah.
This is a book, and it's by a printer in Belgium. And when you like to write a book, you don't need a publisher for that. The printer, he can print every book that people are commending. So it's a very cheap way to have some book of your own.
Yeah. Wow. Very nice.
Okay. And what about you, Nick? Have you thought of a book yet?
No, I've never written a book, Peter. I've coloured a few in, I'll be honest, but never actually written one. I was thinking about. I've given a lot of books away. I've grabbed some PLR books and used those as download and freebies, but never actually written one. It's something I'd love to do.
Right. My friend George McGilvery in Aberdeenshire, right? I recently bought this for 12 quid from her, and I'm going to be. George is I think there's an echo somewhere, folks. So what happened was George. I got this from George, and he signed it as well. Now, George is over 70. Now, I used to work with George as an echo. And
I don't know where the echo is from.
We sold double glazing.
I'm back. I've set everything up. Sorry, Peter. If we could, in turn, try something. if you could, right. So, Peter, can you switch your microphone off, please? At the bottom, it's bottom left microphone.
Okay.
Okay. If we carry on talking, can anybody hear an echo?
No,
I hear nothing.
Okay.
Nothing.
nothing.
No,
Peter, turn your microphone back on. Maria, could you turn your microphone off? Again, the icon is bottom left. Okay, can we hear an echo now?
No.
No.
Right.
Okay, it's probably going to be me. I know it is. I know it's going to be me. Okay, Maria, turn your microphone back on. Thank you. Chris, could you turn your microphone off, please? Do we have an echo?
No.
No.
No. Oh, Chris, could you turn your microphone back on? Jim, I know it's not you. Could you turn your microphone off?
Turning it off now.
Right, okay. Do we have an echo? No.
No.
Okay.
No.
Thank you, Jim. Turn it back on. Oh, wait a minute. We've got an echo. This is fun. Okay, Jim, please turn your microphone back on. Chris, sorry, Nick.
Nick?
Yeah. Okay.
Switch
Microphone's
your
going on.
microphone off. Testing 1, 2, 3. No,
Loud and clear.
there's only 2 of us left. Thank you, Nick. Okay.
Ah,
I'm using earphones, but
Yeah.
always.
Somebody's speakers are feeding back into the microphone.
That's right.
I'm using earplugs, so I know it's not me.
You know.
Marco, can you say something? You can't say something because your microphone's off. Would you like to switch your microphone back on?
here I am.
It's back. The echo's back.
Beko is back,
Yeah,
yes.
fine. I'll switch my microphone off, and if you can talk amongst yourself.
Can we hear an echo singing away?
No.
Okay.
Bad.
It's our leader.
Echo, echo, echo,
No
echo.
echo.
It's our leader.
Is it? Okay.
Okay, Peter, back to you. It appears to have sorted itself out.
Okay, so I'll put on the earphones. No, the reason I'm asking about this, so George wrote that after many years. Now, George was a double glazing salesman in the kitchen. And I remember when he started the internet. And he was a guy by that time. You won't tell me his age. Anyway, so he's done very well. Now, I put a post up on Elite Business Academy just recently, and it was about my COVID year. And I even had people writing to me saying they were crying about the story, what's happened to me, what I've overcome. And over the years, people have said to me, Peter, you should write a book about every obstacle you've had to overcome. But guess what? I have got no inclination to sit there and do it. And no, I put a post out saying, has anybody ever used a ghostwriter? So have any of you ever used a ghostwriter?
No. No.
I've had an editor.
Right.
You know, the editor.
Yeah.
First time I turned my book in, my editor said, "What a pile of superfluous crap."
Yeah.
So flattering.
At least he's honest. So there you go. So that's all. I put a post out today saying, hold on. I've no Facebook. What's that saying? So John, there's a lot of non-speaker background. But I've actually got that. What do you call that thing that doesn't make a noise at the back of me again? Crisp. I've got that one. Anyway, so how's it be, John? How do you know?
I'm picking on you.
He comes in and
Book
annoying
about
me.
murder.
John, it's about perseverance and not even being born in the first place. I wasn't meant to be here. Did you know that? Did I tell you that?
Terminator.
No, what happened was, I'll just tell you a story and then we'll move on. So my mother, when she was 7, fell into a coal fire and she was burned, really badly burned her stomach. And she was told this kid is never going to have kids, never. And after the Second World War, she had plastic surgery upon plastic surgery upon plastic surgery, and as I say, she never have kids. She eventually married, and 7 years after she was married, ta-da! And ruined everything.
Yeah.
And
My,
that's
my,
just-
my,
again.
my dad said that I shouldn't be here either.
yeah.
But apparently it's split, so they're not 100% effective.
So I'm scared that I knew a motivational speaker type guy in Aberdeen. He says, Peter, I've started writing my book. I said, that's great. But then he died. He couldn't finish it. So that kind of worried me.
I don't think it's too connected. I don't think writing a book. I mean, thank you. I missed out on your question, Peter. I have written a book. It's on
You
Amazon. It's Amazon now.
Okay.
Would anybody like to guess what it's about?
Live streaming.
Live streaming.
Yes, it is. Well done, Peter.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, it was written 4 years ago with Fraser Hay, and we're about to do version 2 4 years later because it's changed. I mean, now we've got Be Live and StreamYard and Restream.io and Melon,
Yes.
and there'll be a Ninja. So that's what we're going to be writing about, and the marketing section in there as well. But this morning I had a blast. Did a premiere of a new show in Fraser Hay's group, because Jim and I know Fraser. Everybody knows Fraser.
Oh yeah, of course.
But we're joined by Irene Chan of Be Live, and it was a marketing show about how to get your marketing going, and we had a great blast. But one of the things that Fraser asked us to do, and he didn't explain why till afterwards, was actually just to touch our nose. So if everybody synchronized, just touch your nose. I know it looks daft, but just do it. Thank you. Right, we're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
April Fool's Day tomorrow, Pete. Just remember, Stephen.
Right. I'll let Fraser explain the logic behind it. I'll invite him to join us next week.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Sure.
All good.
We will be curious to know about this
Yes.
a whole
All
week.
week long.
Well, yeah, no,
I think I can sleep, Stephen.
All right,
Yeah.
I won't be able to sleep.
It's that old joke. Idiot in suspense. We'll tell you next week.
Oh. See you next week.
No.
It's all about focus.
Vera Schweiger.
And hello, Vera. Thank you for joining us. And we are globally funny because we are Canada, USA, Portugal, Belgium, the UK, well, England and Scotland. So we actually do share incredibly a sense of humour. And a sense of self. It's all about, I don't know what's on your mind, Peter, but it's all about not being oversensitive, about not taking yourself too seriously. Do you think it's important to do that when we're actually presenting ourselves to the world? Should we take every brick that's thrown at us, or should we just ignore it and just carry on?
Good question. That's a good question. That's a good question. If I could speak up about that, I think it depends on the situation, Stephen. I mean, I know myself that as I've gotten older, I can laugh at myself for a lot of the things I do and say, and I see the humor in it. But when I'm talking to people or I'm delivering seminars, it's serious, right? I mean, it's a serious, because I talk about real estate and business, so that's a serious matter. But otherwise, I mean, as I get older, I can laugh. Like yesterday, I went with my friend to do some things. We were laughing in the car. We didn't stop laughing the whole trip. So I think it depends. And my father told me something very wise. He said, Maria, life is too short. Don't take it so seriously. And as I get older, I understand that.
I am so offended by people that are offended.
Yeah.
Yes.
What do you mean by that, Jim? What do you mean by that, Jim?
I'm offended. Get out of here.
like lefties, they get easily.
When I was a young man, my friends and I would insult each other.
Mhm. Yeah.
I mean, it was always considered who could insult each other the worst. I mean, it was,
Yeah.
and it was nothing off bounds.
Mhm.
Oh,
And now the slightest thing, I'm offended. Well, I'm sorry. This is the way I am, and
Yeah.
well,
and so much of it is not what you really meant to begin with.
Mhm.
no.
Mhm. Sure.
I'm going to tell you a short story about this. I was
You don't
singing
ever
on
tell a short story. What are you talking
Well,
a short story.
That's why he has to write a book.
it's
for
short
Maria.
on Peter's parameters.
For
That's
Maria. I sing part-time, right? So I've been singing on the internet. Now, not far away from me down there, a man of 77 I greatly admire. We became friends recently. He's a very well-known singer in Aberdeen, fantastic. And when he heard me, he says, "Where have you been hiding? You've got a great voice." And I got really friendly with him.
Yeah.
And I said to him, "You need to go on Facebook and let your fans know you're still here." So he did it. And then one day, he put on a background gym, and it was really jam-packed with people. And I said, "You'd better watch. The police will be around shortly." It was overcrowded. And he put on WTF, and I never seen it. And then I used to look into his singing and go, "Yep." I phoned him, I says, "I haven't heard you for ages." "Huh, you're putting that up on there for us." I says, "Did you not get it?" "No, it wasn't funny, I didn't get it." And then the next thing is, "What you saying yep for?" I says, "It was to let you know I was there, just a short time in there," right? But because all he really wanted was admiration all the time, So that was it. And then I says, "That's it." I says, I'll wait for him to get back. And then he put a post up apologising to everybody, saying that because he's stuck in the house, he started to get a bit much, and he was starting to fall out with everybody. So you've just got to watch what you say,
Yeah.
Stop waiting up to phone me. If he thinks I'm phoning him, he can forget.
Blood pressure, Peter. Blood pressure.
I'm waiting for Peter to give us a karaoke version of Donald, Where's My Trousers?
Oh no, I'm not doing that. I know a girl sings that every week at a pub. No, what's that one?
That's my book.
Equation.
That's my book. Absolutely. That's the prosperity equation.
Right. Okay.
This is the hardcover.
Yeah.
There's a chess set on the front, and I don't know who that bald-headed guy is, but it says it's your life, it's your move.
Nice.
Yeah. Very
Yeah,
nice. Yeah.
So yeah, there it is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Super.
Yeah.
So that was it, and
Very
we
nice.
sold 5,000 copies of it online, and I mean in person, the hardcover, and probably 25 or 30,000 copies download.
That's good.
Mm.
That's excellent.
And with
Excellent.
the formula of success.
Yeah, well, the formula says is
Yeah.
attitude, desire, work ethic, and competency.
Right.
That's what I call the theory was, work ethic, attitude, determination. So many people don't have the ingredients of prosperity, and they think of prosperity only as being rich. Prosperity is an entire lifestyle. It's an entire philosophy.
Yeah.
It's happiness.
Yes.
There's so many things that contribute to that, and I wanted the group to see that. Peter asked you, "Do you have a book?" Yeah, I have a book, but I'm writing more now.
What did it do for you, that book, Jim?
Well, it didn't make a lot of money. 5,000 copies. I gave away quite a few. It was a business card, and the downloads made money. The downloads, and I'm selling the book right now. I've got a book on my website for $75.
Wow.
It's a trade book. It's called the F&I Mastermind on basically how to do finance in the auto industry. And I've just finished that book, and we've sold I don't know, 600-700 copies so far, $75. So,
That's
but
good.
it's a download. I have no investment in it.
Yeah.
Mhm.
They just go to my website and download it, and the money shows up in my PayPal.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So
Well-
I'm doing a lot of that. But yeah, the book gave me credibility. That's the
Mhm.
word you're looking
Yeah.
for. You know, when you put it in writing, you are a published author.
Mm-hmm.
And frankly, I published it through a company called Peach State Press, which was my own company.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Yeah, so did I.
It was self-published, but
Yeah.
Peach State Press was a corporation I formed, and people say, "Did you self-publish?" No, I bought a publishing company.
Yeah.
It's also a good way.
Yeah.
Excellent. I love it. Yeah, I self-published also. So I became a publishing company also, Jim.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's the way to go. That's the way to go. And I'm looking forward to writing my second one very slowly, or do an ebook or something else in the meantime, and work from there.
Mhm.
Yeah. It's a lot of time.
You can
I'm-
publish on a lot of my friends are publishing on Amazon.
Yes.
Amazon will publish a paperback for you.
Yeah.
If you will send them a PDF and a PDF of the cover,
Mm-hmm.
they will get the code. They'll get all the things you need. They'll get it copywritten for you, and they take about 60%, but they publish on demand.
Yeah.
They publish one book at a time. When somebody orders the book, they publish a book and they ship it.
Same as that book.
So that the book you make would have to capture an imagination. All I can really talk about is perseverance and with a small business, and the roller coaster ride that I've went.
Yes.
But somebody has got to buy that, because somebody said to me, "Which book did you really like?" And it's a man I've always admired, and he bought Remington shavers. What's his name?
Remington.
Victor Kayan.
Victor Kayan. And that the thing he said to me was, if you can guarantee anything in your business, guarantee it. And I done it, and that worked very well for me.
I guarantee it. Yeah, my friend Harvey McKay was the first famous self-publisher. He wrote a book called "Swim with the Sharks Without Getting Eaten Alive."
Yeah.
I remember that. I remember that.
And he went to all the publishers, and nobody would publish his book. So he published himself and sold millions of copies. And became a best-selling author immediately.
Yeah.
And I know Mark Victor Hansen and the guys that wrote "Who Moved My Cheese."
Interesting.
But
Well,
Peter, you've got to write a book, because people read books for stories, and you have got so many stories and related to your business that you tell them about the brothel above the pizza place. I mean, you've got some great stories that are so funny. So write them down and put them in a book. Come on.
Hitler was my next. Rudolf Hess was my next door neighbor.
Exactly.
And he was.
Right. And that would be the intrigue that will get people to buy your book.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yes. It's what I wrote the other week was the other day. I've got a new business. All this cancel culture is going about.
Can somebody explain cancel culture to me, because I'm lost.
Right. It's like what you. Oh, wait a minute. That's easy. It's like what you do every week.
Okay.
You're talking about censorship, Peter.
That's what cancel culture is.
Cancel culture is erasing history.
It's true. You can watch Peter get cancelled every
A
week.
new narrative.
So this is what I've bought. I'm going to make a fortune.
What does it say? What does it
Nothing.
say?
It's
Let's get it
cancel
closer,
rock.
Bill.
Oh, okay. Sure, it's going to make a fortune.
Zip it.
Oh, neat.
Oh, I just think. No, listen. I think it's so funny and ironic. That's me with cancel culture. It's screen the floor. Anyway, back to you.
Look there, Nick.
Hilarious.
What happened to Nick?
Hold on.
Yeah, I got a mask too.
Oh, I was wondering. I was wondering.
Yeah.
I wanted to share my mask.
Ah,
Oh, wow. I was wondering.
that's a real mask.
We had a new guest.
Don't tease me. Don't tease me.
So what I'm looking for is I'm looking for like a ghostwriter sit with me and say, right, tell me your story, right? We'll write this, then we'll write that, and we'll write that. Because I just find it too much, you know. A lot of people got ghostwriters. But the only thing is I'm not willing to part with a lot of shillings for it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
They do say you get what you pay for, Peter.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. But
Oh,
it's
wait a minute.
interesting. On you go,
Wait a minute.
guys.
So to Marco.
Let's keep safe. Let's stay safe because you never know.
Oh,
Keep the distance, please.
oh dear.
Oh, yeah.
That's all caught up now. Okay. Right, if anybody else got another subject, you better hurry because I'll get one.
No,
Peter,
I-
carry on.
Are we out of material?
Never.
It's
Never.
quite interesting. Apparently, someone was on Facebook today, and it was a lady I interviewed about a year ago. Lovely lady. She was big into handmade crochet, and apparently she put a post on today. And I got to admit, I don't normally go down that rabbit hole, but apparently she posted today. She said it's International Trans Day today.
Oh, okay.
So
Okay.
you wanted a different subject. So here we go. And so she wrote this fairly small little post about it. And she said she was, I want to get this right, she was non-binary but trans. So a few people actually just did on the comments say, oh, look, you know, I know you and I love you, love what you do, but can you explain how you can be? And my goodness, it was like, geez, it set off such a long string of comments, and it was like blind. It's like, you know, use these pronouns. I'm thinking, well, they're plural, but there's only one of you, so you. It's like, so I was so tempted to just jump in and go, come on, let's have some fun. But I thought I would never get any work done.
Do you
and
remember?
I would have been cancelled, Peter, by a certain people. I would have been.
Yeah.
You know,
Do you remember when Bruce
hate mail.
Springsteen cancelled he cancelled their concert because of the transgender toilets or something like that? Remember that?
No.
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 What was it? Right. There was a lot of money was spent by people to have a big show, and I think it was Bruce Springsteen says, "I'm not coming due to your toilet situation because certain people wanted to share the toilets. I won't go into it, right."
Okay.
I got into a conversation with somebody, and they ranted at me for about 3 paragraphs, and I answered 2 ways at the end of it. Do you know what it was?
No.
Yeah, well, sometimes it was no, other times it was yes. Yes, no, yes, and that's all I done. Ballistic. Or they went ballistic, or Z went ballistic.
Yeah.
And it was so much fun. And then I went, I'm blocking you.
Here's a bit of Springsteen trivia. He
Right.
left his stage set at Wembley Stadium for the first Live Aid that was on about
Right.
2 weeks later.
Mhm.
So, and the only reason I know that was because I went and saw him at that time, and so we knew he'd left it. So cool! What a nice man.
Speaking about records, I'm on a thing called Next Door, and it's an American car. It's everywhere in the world. And someone put up, I've got 78 RPM records that my father had left in the loft. And does anybody want to look at them and buy them? No, my cousin happens to be a massive dealer in vinyl. He makes thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds out of it. He keeps buying them and selling them, but he buys it. And I says, Jim, you're meant to be retiring. He said, no, but I can't help it. And they come in. So I put up the post, and there's 78 RPM, and some of them are worth 10 grand, you know. So I put them onto him. And there are when I go into lofts, well, when I used to go into lofts and do the things that used to lie in people's attics, Chris, the next time I go for expensive paintings, I'll go halves with you, steal them and put them in my bag. No, I won't do that. I tell you.
These are not so expensive paintings, Peter.
Yeah. So no, it's quite fascinating. Vinyl has come right back.
Yeah.
And you probably all remember Boots in Britain. We used to go in and listen to our music on a pair of earphones before you bought them.
Mm-hmm.
My cousin does that with his vinyl records up in this place in Aberdeen. And people actually travel all over the world to come to Aberdeen to buy his records.
Amazing. That's amazing.
My first job after school was working in Boots in Slough, which is a big one at the time. And I was lucky enough to do the audio and the records, and it was great. We used to play all the records all day long. Only got into trouble when Frankie came into Frankie Goes to Hollywood came out. We were told not to play that one, but everything else pretty much went. And yeah, it was good fun. Good fun.
Wow. I still have a lot.
Okay.
I still have a lot of records in my basement. Like I don't know if they like the old ones, right? Like the really old ones. Then you had the teeny weeny ones. I don't know what they were, 45 maybe, 45s or whatever. Yeah.
Singles.
Yeah, singles. What I should be doing is selling them. I never thought about it because I'm not interested in it. I don't have children, so I'm not going to leave it to anyone. So that's a really good idea there,
if
Peter.
You've got a list, make the list for me, and I'll send it to my cousin, and he'll have a look at them for you.
Oh, that's a lot of work.
Well,
I have to find the time to do it. That's the thing is.
To make coins, I'm going to let you into a secret. The man below you, Steven Healey.
Yeah.
He was a DJ.
Oh,
No.
that's his secret. That's his secret. Now we know your secret, Steven.
Come on.
No.
No
stories.
Yeah.
No stories to tell there. I come across a UK site which I'm going to investigate this weekend, which is called Mix Sound. Anybody heard of it? MIX Sound?
No.
Right. Okay. I was a DJ. Peter's right. I was a DJ at the local KSC club. Did a Friday session there for quite some time when I was a bit younger. But mix.
It's funny you don't have the neck like that.
Right. For Mix Sound, for being serious, Mix Sound for £9 a month, you can play any tracks you want during a live show.
All right.
Oh, wow.
And when you think that if you want to start your own radio station, you've got to pay royalties in the UK, royalties in the USA, royalties in Canada, royalties in Belgium.
Yeah.
It doesn't work. But if you could go live and play the records you enjoy playing and go live for a couple of hours for $15 a month.
Okay.
It's tempting.
No, the thing is,
I pay ASCAP BMI.
Okay.
ASCAP BMI, I have a license to play recorded music in my sessions, my live speeches.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here's the question for you, Stephen. Does Facebook know you get a license for it? Or do they bump you, then fight for them for 6 weeks to let it go back on?
That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
I think the way to do that is have your own website. Like most radio stations have their own website, right? And so what you do is you'll actually produce your show on your website, and that becomes the radio station, and then you have to market it, right? But I'd like to know more about that, actually, that mixed sound, how you can use it. Because I was hearing about YouTube is doing the same thing now. They just take things down, and Facebook too. So you know what? I'll leave it up to Stephen. He'll figure out how to get around all of that, right, Stephen? He'll figure it out.
Can Can I say to you, look up a guy called Dougie Stone, Duggie. I think it's Dougie Stone. I'll put a link to him.
Okay.
He does a radio show every day on Facebook. He's on every day.
Okay.
And I found him through 4 Network and things like that. But he's on doing a radio. I've never listened to it because I don't listen to music, even though I do a bit of singing. And he's on every day, so it's quite interesting. But you're right, get it to. Oh, by the way, we're talking about going to your own website. I'm now a low-carb keto eater, and I've never felt so good. And this guy's having the same problem. If you mention certain things, like W loss, get kicked, get a strike, right? So what he does now is gets us to his webpage, puts everything he's going to do for the week, announces it on Facebook, then you hit the link and you're in his Zoom meeting away from FB.
FB. I love that, FB.
It's not what you're thinking. It's called
I know.
Facebook.
Well, I know that. I know that Facebook.
How did you know what we're thinking?
I hope they've got no readers on Facebook. Right, I'm going to hand this show back to the 2 people who listen.
Yeah, I'm still thinking about Stephen and his Friday night DJing and thinking, that must have been an absolute babe magnet. I would have loved to have been a DJ younger. All the girls used to come up
I was a DJ.
laughing their eyes. Can you play this? Can you play that? God, my idea.
I was a fairly
Music again, Stephen.
in my youth.
No, it's basically you have your girlfriend as bodyguard and you set totally safe.
I've got to say, I just can't imagine him here as a DJ. The excitement that would come from him.
Yeah,
I was a DJ when I was in my youth. I was a fairly famous DJ. I was with WAPE in Jacksonville, Florida. I was the Big Ape, as they call it, WAPE, and I was nationally known. And
Wow.
I was a rock jock. I was Dr. X, the big time radio celebrity.
Wow. Wow. We're in hallowed ground here now. We're in hallowed
Class
ground.
Dr. X, a big time radio celebrity. It's 9 o'clock in the city in the nighttime with the wild man loose on your radio.
Oh, I love it.
You never
I
lose
love
it.
it. I love it.
My partner in crime was a guy named Jay Thomas, the actor, and he went on and became an actor, and I went into sales.
Okay.
Yes.
I wouldn't like to be a DJ. I'd like to be a shock jock. And people Howard Stern and Peter. Yeah, I would bring them on
Stern
and
and
say,
Stewart.
establish. Let's what are you? You're lefty or rightly? Let me know before we start so I can rip you apart.
Stern and Stewart.
But Pete, that's the beauty of live stream. You can do that. You can just have your own show, the Shock Jock Pete Stewart show. Let it rip.
Do you know something?
Absolutely.
No,
Absolutely.
I couldn't do it because sometimes your life would be in threat. And that is the truth in Britain just now.
Oh boy.
With certain things that are happening just now. We've got a teacher who's had to go into hiding.
Why? What happened? What did they say or what did they do?
He showed the Charlie Hebdo cartoon in his class.
Oh. Yeah.
He's a religious instructor teacher and he was showing them and all hell was broke loose and it's not a nice situation. And I'm going to say to it.
Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy.
Yeah. It's sad. It's very sad, right? It's very sad. You don't even know what you can talk about anymore. You have to be in the middle ground all the time. So it's
exactly. And where did this intolerance come from? That it just seems to have just crept in over the last couple of decades. I don't know. It has. Yeah. It's crazy. Or has it? Or has it always been there? And
it's coming out of the universities. No. It's coming out of the universities. It's being taught.
Well, I think it starts in grade school, don't you think so, Jim? I mean, it starts when you're little kids. I mean, they already tell you what you can say and what you can't say. just continues.
I don't know.
You know,
Is it because we stopped beating children?
Yeah, probably.
and wives.
And what? Yeah, well,
Come on, guys.
I just said that to Ray.
No, you know what? It's
Yeah,
not.
that was a joke.
She liked it.
Yeah,
She did like
of course. But, well,
Stop.
you know what it
Did you
is.
stop? Did you
Do you
stop?
remember? Do you remember the
We have to
saying that
stop.
said, "Spare the rod and spoil the child"? And this is what's going on
Yeah.
in the world now. You know, it's spare the rod, spoil the child. And when you think about all those sayings that people used to say, there's so much truth in them. And only as you get older do you see the truth. I don't know about you, but I certainly see the truth in all of that.
Yeah.
It's an undisciplined world now. It's an undisciplined world.
Entitled.
Entitled. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Yes.
Now, I don't know if you. One of the things that's happening in the UK later on, I think it's this month or next month, we are getting an alternative TV station called GB News.
Mhm.
And we've had problems in Britain, but now it's going to be another side of the story. And it's Andrew Neil is the chairman. He's very well known in Britain, and he's tough for both sides. He's tough with the Conservatives, he's with the Liberals, and he slaughters the Labourites. And that's going on. And he's poached people from Sky News, Fox News. He's poached a lot of people. And did you know that they're trying to cancel the station already? People are saying to the advertisers, if you go with them,
Yeah.
we will get you cancelled. We will shut you down. Now, if I own the station, I say, listen, see if you're a phone company, and that phone company's got, we will make sure that if you come to us, you will try and get the businessmen and everything that come to us because they don't want to be with our station. And I can tell you, the tears will be running down their eyes later. Pleading. He's already banned the co-op. The co-op was given, somebody said the co-op will not be added, blah, blah, blah. He says, no problem, you're banned for life. The co-op came back and they were apologising, and the person was reprimanded had done it. And that's what's happening in the UK. GB News. Keep an eye on it. It's going to be fun.
It's going to be interesting, and I make a prediction publicly now
Right.
that it will not last long. I give it 6 months. Because the general population, I don't know your thoughts, Nick, but the general population of most countries takes the middle path
Yeah.
rather than an extreme right wing or left wing. Most people sort of steer between the two.
yeah, they do. It's worrying though when one side feels it doesn't have a big enough voice, and the other side. And that's the thing, isn't it? You know, what makes me laugh. You know, I'm no great fan of the BBC. Let's get this straight. But it's so funny. Depending on who you ask, either the BBC is so left wing it's untrue, or someone else will say, "Oh, it's so right wing," and it's like, it's your opinion. It's, you know, it's probably actually fairly central because you know that's remit. But of course, you know, to send anyone who is right or left of centre, it's going to be they will pick up on that nuanced. On that nuanced argument. I mean, it was, of course, they were massive, and you know, they were massively pushing the Remain, Remain in Euro, which I do think was right. I do think they were super biased on that, because once you have a vote, you have to enact it. You can't try and then unpick it. Yeah, I totally. Actually, there's one thing. Yeah, I totally blame Cameron. I remember saying to my niece at the time, who was like, bless her, she was a junior lawyer, so she's very politically correct, and she was super worried about coming. I said, Olivia, seriously, I said, I can't imagine any government would be so stupid as to call a referendum they would lose. It's like,
that's a good point. That's a good point. That's a good point.
Let me
Never
give you a little.
underestimate the stupidity of government. And that's, sorry, very quickly, and that's why I had another friend who was on to me. I'd not spoken to her for about a year. She was messaged me yesterday and said, "Oh, let's have a quick catch up." And she was saying, "Oh, please tell me you haven't had the jab. Please, it's all this." And she's got this alternate news, and you know, it is freaky. You know, it's like, you know, there's such conspiracy theories. And I said, seriously, Michelle, I said, I wouldn't trust the government to run a freaking country, let alone have an entire global deep state conspiracy. You know, it's like, no, wake up. These guys are idiots at best and self-interested. Very, very, sorry. Some of them obviously are very, very passionate and want to do it for the good. But unfortunately, what happens is the ones which are the power-hungry ones rise to the top. And that's where it goes a bit
they bully people. They bully opposing opinions. We had a state senator here in United States tell her following, if you see a Republican in public, run them out of the restaurant, harass them. I mean,
that's ridiculous.
Yeah, I mean, could you imagine a state senator on national news saying, seek out the opposition party and run them out of public places and harass them in public?
Wow. Wow.
And I've seen that as well, and I've forgotten her name. But let me give you a little fact of what's happened. You know Piers Morgan?
Yes.
He left GMT because he was told to apologise. He says, I'm not apologising for something I believe in. He called Meghan Markle a liar.
Okay.
And he refused to apologise. Yeah. So they said, well, you'll have to go. He says, well, I'll go. Since they left, I have never turned on GMTV in the morning. They have lost 1.1 million viewers. Their shares have dropped dramatically. They phoned them up and says, can we put your life story program on at night? They needed them. And people are falling over them to get them on their networks. Yeah. And that's what's happened. And GMTV, they're talking about shutting it and coming back with a new name.
But Peter, that was the reason they got him in the first place, because, you know, he polarizes opinion. And I remember him from being when he was just a cub reporter on the Sun's Bazaar page back when we were teenagers. Yes. And, you know, his claim to fame then was he wrote the Take That story. You know, geez. But he's become this figure. How he got away with without going to prison for the phone hacking scandal, I will never know. But yeah, it's kind of Teflon man. But they got him in to get the viewers up because he polarizes. I mean, I saw a couple and I couldn't watch because it was just like you're just on a rant, mate, and it's it's crazy. But he's massively sought after. But I think that says more about the population.
But when you disagreed with him, did you persecute him?
Yeah, no, never persecute him. Yeah, it was his entire right to it's his right to his opinion, and he's big enough and bold enough to look after himself.
Sure,
but, you know, but it's quite interesting. You know, he was talking the other day about death threats, and son's made death threats about him. And I think, crikey, you know, I've never had a death threat from social media, but I've got friends that have been running ads, and you know, you just think there's just some weird people out there.
Yeah,
and, you know, it doesn't take a lot to trigger them, but they do kind of hide behind social media.
And because of that, Sharon Osbourne stuck up for him. She's been cancelled. That's cancelled, by the way, Stephen. She's been cancelled from the show. And she's suing him for millions. She's suing him. And,
good for her.
That's what happened there. Now, here's the thing. Meghan Markle said she was married twice. She said she was married before the official ceremony.
That's what she said.
The Archbishop has come out and says, it would have been illegal for me to marry them. I give them a blessing because there's got to be a witness to a marriage. And that's,
but Peter, why didn't he come out the next day and say, look, that's crap? It's like it's you know, there's been no look. I don't get riled up about it, but it just seems to be there's no comeback. There's no questioning of, well, you just like spent. I mean, I didn't see it, so I can't really comment. But if you just spent 2 hours talking something, and then people are unpicking it and saying, well, actually, that's not true. That's not true. That's not true. And you know, you think there should be some sort of comeback on the TV company in Oprah to go. So
Yeah.
what was all that about then? It just seems a bit weird. I mean, I hope I wish them well, but I just hope that they disappear from our psyche as soon as possible.
Now, is Marco coming out as Pigeonhole today?
Yeah, Marco, it's very quiet.
Marco, come back.
Yeah, I was going to say. Yeah.
I mean, he's sat
I'm
back
listening.
listening to. I mean, if we say we would have all out war. So we're staying calm. we're staying calm and listening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh,
I'm taking notes. I want to write a book.
Tell the glorious day, brother.
the book from Jim.
Yeah.
Jim, your book?
Yes.
I'll tell you, anybody, send me a message on Facebook and I'll send you a download of the book.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh,
do
thank
that.
you.
I will do that. Yes. Thank you.
James A. Facebook, James A. Ziegler. Just send me a message. It's an open platform.
Mhm.
And I'll send you a download of it.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
I can say that the technology references are way out of date. This was written in 2000.
Yes.
You know, but you know, the philosophy things about how to acquire
That will
wealth
be
and how to
the
be an
same.
entrepreneur are still very valid.
Mhm.
Right.
Sure. Business is
No.
business. Like I say, you know what? Like I'm in the real estate business. I'm an investor. I'm not a real estate agent. I'm not a broker. I'm an investor. It's my money. I did it from scratch, started with nothing and went on. But like I say, Jim, business is business. It doesn't matter if it's real estate. It doesn't matter if it's social media. It doesn't matter if it's whatever. Business is business. The basics of business doesn't change. You can call it a different name, but the basics of business doesn't change. I've been in business since 1982. My technology has changed, but the basics of business has always been the same.
That's why I hang around Peter. Peter's always on the crest of the wave, you know.
No, Maria,
Yeah, he's got
Yes.
some high tech in his hand there.
have you seen
Yes.
one of these before? We all know what it is, but have you seen one?
Just a minute.
I can't really see it very well. I think I may have seen it, but I wouldn't know what it is. It's a camera of some sort.
Yeah, it's called the
Webcam?
Flip.
The flip. Okay.
The flip,
Okay.
yeah.
And it plugs into your USB, and you
Okay.
put your video. And I've got a video from 10 years ago in it, a couple of videos.
Oh, okay.
And that's why it's called the Flip, because it just flipped out like that.
Ah,
Yeah.
And it broke my heart when they stopped me, because I loved it. I mean, I loved it because if you've got your mobile phone, I go cycling and my phone's in my wrist now. I've got a new wrist thing that holds it. I can't get my phone out to take a photograph. I want a flip.
mhm. Mhm.
Peter still has daguerreotype photographs of himself.
What's that?
Right. Okay.
Josh,
If you want retro, go and watch reruns of the X-Files.
Yes.
Absolutely brilliant. The lack of technology. Marco, we've come to that time, and as we do,
Wow.
it's
It's
time
time
to
to say
close.
goodbye.
We'll talk about next week's show.
And now the end is near. So we face the final
And I
curtain.
must face
My
the
friend, I'll
final
say it clear.
curtain,
We will see next week at
Ah,
my
Of which
home.
we're certain.
I love
But
it. I love
through
that
it all,
song.
when there was doubt. So
love it.
thank you so much for tuning in. See you next week at my home in Portugal. Be sure to bring something to eat. Okay, it's not just show up. See you
Thank
next
you.
week. Bye bye.
Bye, everyone. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
guys.
Bye. See you next